right, we are back. Trying to get a song in there because we have the astounding. I'm trying to think of the right words for this.
Be careful.
The magnificent.
The magnificent. Our superintendent of schools with his Surrency,
Good
who I've
morning.
known for 20 years.
That's the first time I've been called that.
So I get to pick on him. We have a very important school board meeting tonight. There's a lot of questions for you, a lot of controversy about some things. So I know that the parents are going to be there.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
just going to throw you to the wolves right off the bat because this is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
I have a sophomore there next year who we're already trying to figure out how we're going to get her there.
Yeah. Well,
Because we all work.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I
Yeah,
do want to address that. Every school board meeting is important, but
This one's really important to parents.
yeah. And actually, the board voted at a previous board meeting to change our starting times, and that was a huge decision, and we don't take it lightly, and I know that really inconveniences a lot of people, but I do want to mention that our principals have gone to a lot of trouble. Our elementary principals have contacted daycares, and every single elementary school is making arrangements or planning to try to provide after-school daycare for those parents that can't.
I get them. I don't have a problem there. My problem comes at the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9 o'clock start time,
Mm-hmm.
Mom left for work at 7:30. I'm just going to roll over pull the covers back over my head.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it was like to be a senior because my parents worked. I know what I got by with. And I have a sophomore who not unfortunate, but very fortunately is very motivated. So she's going to be the one to get up and go. But we're already trying to figure out because all the parents work, grandparents work. How do you get her to school?
Yeah, everyone's situation is different, and I certainly appreciate that. And we're just asking parents to do whatever they can to make arrangements. I know one complaint or a concern I've had are students that work after school.
Work after school,
Right.
and cheerleading practice, and football practice, and band practice.
Right. Yeah, those are concerns. And one thing, our high school administrators are working on trying to schedule students who work after school, try to schedule where they can leave early. They have those like DCT classes where they can earn credit for working away from school. So we're trying to do that and accommodate them.
Any chance of starting something at 8 o'clock to do their club work?
Everything's open. I mean,
You
as
know,
far as
That
For-
way they could get that out of the way. They could get that stuff done. And
yeah,
not after
that's a good
school.
point. I mean, we've talked about some clubs or athletic organizations, but they could do their practices before school. You're absolutely right.
Oh, I don't want to sit next to that football player.
Yeah, hopefully they'll clean up for school. Yeah, but that's happened before. I mean, back when I coached, we had early morning practices.
Well, I remember them having early morning practice and having to get them to school at 6:30. And getting them to school at 6:30 is a lot easier than getting to school at 9 o'clock.
Right. But I think the benefits of all this, Susan, everything you said is perfectly legitimate. The big benefit is we've done a lot of research and found that high school students learn better when they start later. That extra hour of sleep, though, is going to make a big difference.
Oh, I'd like to have an extra hour in the morning. And I understand that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand that when they get out of high school and go to work,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to probably have a 9 o'clock job.
I understand. Yeah.
They're going to have to be up at 7 o'clock and get dressed and get to work by 8 or maybe by 7 or by 6.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
So
Yeah.
there's that side of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of points, both positive and negative, but we really focus on what's the best thing to help students learn. And I understand when they graduate, they will have jobs.
Oh, no, mine is about to have a rude awakening that graduates this week. I think what I'm hearing from parents is the fact that there wasn't much discussion that they heard about with this, and they just kind of hit them in the face.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of the outcry is coming from.
Well, yeah, and I've heard that too. And we advertise the meeting.
I think meetings are very important. I think people need to go to school board meetings,
Mm-hmm.
but they're hard to get to for those of us that work.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have responded through Facebook and phone calls. We've received a lot of calls, and the main thing is they have made us known, have made it known what their concerns are. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And this is not a popularity contest.
No,
this
it's
is
not. It's what's best for the kids.
yeah, and bring us your concerns, and we've tried to really address each concern, and that's the main thing about public input. What are your concerns? And we've tried to do that.
And you have all of this going on top of the cutting in budgets by the state and trying to figure out how you're going to take your administrators and put them where. And who's going to make those decisions?
Actually, today's board meeting, the board will be voting on the proposed allocations or the number of teaching and support positions at each school. And today's paper, there's an article about that.
Very good article.
It will be reduced somewhat just because we're receiving less funds from the state. And we're trying to do everything we can to not touch the classroom. We're just touching those support positions.
And if people want to get in on that, they need to be calling their legislators.
Absolutely. And right now we're waiting on the governor to sign the educational budget. And my understanding is the legislature has not even given him the budget to sign yet.
So please call your legislator if you don't want that budget slashed, for a better word.
Well,
I don't think even cut. I think they're slashing.
It's out of the legislator's hands now. It's actually in the governor's hands. And I've sent out information urging people to contact the governor to voice their concern about that. And I've given them some contact information. They can go to our website and Facebook page, and we'll give you that information. You can call them or email them and make it known how you feel.
All right, and the people need to do that. You can't wait till it hits home to start saying something. You know me. You know what I was like when I had 3 kids. I was probably the principal's nightmare because I was there, I was involved, and Lord help them if the kid didn't behave, because I just wanted to bar the principal's office. They didn't need to be there because they'd never have a problem again. But we were raised that way. Bill and I both were. That school work comes first. And if you can't do anything else, you can sit in class, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, school is their job.
That is their job,
right.
And you need to recognize that as a parent, that school is a job.
Right.
It's especially when you get in high school years, and those tests are, they're not easy.
Yeah, kids form their work habits and their study skills while they're in school, and it will carry them through the rest of their life. So,
and it's very important.
Right. I do want to stress too. We're having a number of graduation ceremonies. QI Roberts Junior Senior High School had their first ever, last Friday night. E.H. Miller is having their graduation this morning, and I'm leaving there in a few minutes to go there. Tonight, Interlaken High, Thursday, Crescent City, Friday night's Palatka High. I do want to make a point, and I'll share my sentiments with Sheriff Deloach. We want all of our high school graduates to be very careful.
Oh, yes.
Drive safely. Don't do things that...
Don't play stupid.
Right. Don't endanger yourself and others. But celebrate, have a good time, but keep in mind we want you to be around.
I have one question.
Okay.
How come black boys graduate on Friday and everybody else graduates early? Who makes that decision? It's always been that way.
Tradition. Tradition is very strong around here.
It is. I was teasing him about it. I said, look, you're out a week earlier than we normally get out, so you started a week earlier.
And I'm glad we have rain, but I hope it doesn't rain.
It's supposed to leave get out of here tomorrow.
Right.
And I laughed. I said, it'll rain Friday. I don't care what you say. It's going to rain. It always rains for Palatka. But I hope it doesn't rain the other ones out.
Yeah, I hope...
people work too hard to get
we won't rain, just back off during the ceremony so we can have
rain
the ceremony.
Until 5 and then quit. If we're going to pick our tides, let's do what we want. But I'm glad you came in. I didn't mean just to throw that at you, but it's the first thing that came tumbling out of me this morning, because that's the last thing I heard last night.
Well, Susan, I've always known that you say what's on your mind.
Pretty much so.
Yeah.
I try not to pull any punches, and you know where I'm coming from. But
and those are real concerns. I appreciate you asking
those
that.
are major concerns, and these are the concerns I'm hearing from the kids.
Yeah.
I'm not so much mom and dad. She's looking at me and I go, baby, I have to be at work at 6.
Well, I always say whatever we try to do the right things. It may not be the popular things, but we want to help move our district forward. And if we're going to get better, we're going to have to make some tough decisions, and people are going to have to
it's not status quo.
Right. Got to change the way we do things. So.
And your Palatka High School Anchor Club girls are on the front page of
I saw that.
Paper.
Absolutely.
I looked at it and I went, I know that girl. So
yeah.
I had to pick it up and read it then.
That's the fun part of the board meetings.
Yes, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And what time is the board meeting this afternoon?
3:30. 3:30.
Yeah. Are people encouraged to?
Oh, yes. There will be a parking lot full today.
Yeah, we're always, it's a public meeting and everyone is welcome.
It needs to be full every meeting.
Yeah.
Truly, parents need to be there, and they don't have to say anything, just listen.
Yeah.
That's all. Just listen. All
right.
right, we appreciate it.
Thank you,
have a
Susan.
great morning. Enjoy graduation.
Always good to see you.
And it's always good to see you.
All right.
See you Friday night.
All right, see you then.
All right.